my home on wheels. The last 6 months I've been traveling Australia, living this incredible life. We're currently off grid. My dog is ripping up this creek at the moment. We are currently off grid. There is no one in for kilometers. We have no phone reception. And thanks to this van, it allows me and my dog to live this amazing life of living freely and living off grid. It's something that I really wanted to do last year. I had this goal in mind of just exploring Australia, selling everything, quitting the job and just going and just living. So that is what we are currently doing, and I'm so thankful for that. But prior to that, we had to build a van. We had to go buy a van, had to build a van, come up with this idea of combining everything into one van, of the mountain bike riding, the surfing, the skating, the hiking, bringing it all into one van, and also having a spot for my dog where if it's hot, he has a space that he can be cool in and it's comfortable. It's not congested or cluttered in there. Everything has its place. So come along and let me show you what I came up with that allows me to live this lifestyle. One of the biggest things with this van I wanted is storage. I wanted to be able to maximize as much storage as we possibly could, especially with having this doggy too. I wanted to be able to have somewhere where I could store shoes, balls, all the stuff. So this was a big one, and very important item when traveling is having this brush. With him, I reckon I use this brush 10 times a day in the van. Dirt, dust, sweeping it all out, so that's very important. And then above that, I've got this outdoor table, which has been really handy. So in the van, I use an induction cooktop. Normally I'll use it within the van, but if I'm cooking something I know it's going to be smoky, I'll cook it outside. It just saves smoking the whole van out. If we do any platters or drinks or whatever, this is really handy to have this. Now moving into the van, as soon as we come in the overhead compartment in the van, the mid-roof, I don't know if the taller roof one comes with this, but in the mid-roof one, they come with this compartment that's already within the van. So what I've done is, throughout the whole van as well, I use this RV grade plywood. It's a plywood, but it's really light, and it comes with like the laminate on top as well, which is really handy. So all I've done with this is I notched it out to fit into this compartment, which allows me to have this space to pretty much store crap. From a sweet potato to hats and paper towels and camera gear and books and just random stuff, which you need that space in a van. And then moving on from there is I built this little space, which is really cool. When I built this, I wanted to create a slide out pantry. I wanted to really maximize this space. So I went to IKEA and I bought this slide out pantry section that you can see. And it kind of stops there, but it allows me still to have enough space. I can put drink bottles, I can put in Glad stuff and just random bits and pieces. To be honest, I probably don't utilize it for what it should be used for, but it's all good. And then moving on from there, above that is my pantry space, which I've got some bread, avocados, just like a storage space in there. I've got some cans behind there, onions, bananas, bits and pieces. And below that, which I love when this happens, is I built this space and then I bought this coffee machine and it fits in there like a glove. So that's my Breville coffee machine. You've got to have a good coffee when you're on the road. So that fits in there. And then below that is my 115 litre Dometic fridge, which has all my bits and pieces. When these come with a freezer, but I've just taken the freezer section out because I need to fit in my 2 kilos of Greek yogurt. So I've had to take that section out to fit my Greek yogurt in. Moving on from there, I know there's so many different styles of vans and there's so many different ways to lay that out, but I went with 2. So I went with on this side a straight through bench for cooking, cutting, storage, working, laptop space. The main reason I went with 2 benches was the next one over here with my deep sink, was because in the back is I have a surfboard that comes the whole way through. So having that surfboard come the whole way through here and the whole way into this space is I kind of needed to put this here to house the surfboard, so it works out well. It allows me still to have this space where I can sit here, someone sit here on the other side, and I can still have this table that pushes out, which comes out. So I mainly do a lot of my work, eating, reading, a bit of laptop work on here. And back at home, I left it there because I wasn't really using it, as I put an infill piece in the middle here and I had a cushion, so it became a couch, but I wasn't really using it, so I got rid of that. But going back to over here is I have this pop-out window that has 3 different stages, which I highly recommend, especially in Queensland, because it has, recently it's been beautiful, but then it just starts pissing down rain, like really torrential. So that's important because I can still have it open and still allow the air to come in. And you've got your mesh, and you've got a block out setting as well on there. And then below that, I've got 3 drawers. I've got this massive one at the bottom, which has an air fryer, my induction cooktop, speaker, some flour, and just random bits and pieces. Above there, I've got some cooking saucepans, bowls, cups. This one's a bit of a random one, just cutlery and a few bits and pieces. Every house has one of those random drawers that you just chuck all the shit in. And then I have a cabinet that runs the whole way along the van, all the way to the end. So I have 5 cabinetry, 5 cabinets. With these cabinets as well, so like I was saying before, with all the cabinets, with all the main frames on the cabinets, all the structural components, is I use that RV plywood. And then for the doors, because I couldn't really be bothered sitting there cutting all these plywood up, and cheaper too, is I just put on IKEA doors, which fit literally within 3 millimeters by the end there. So I bought these doors from IKEA. I think they were like $10 each, $8 each or something. They're really cheap, so that's an easier way to go about it. Then supplements, coffee, 1.5 kilos of salt, as you do, Tasmanian sea salt. Random bits and pieces. I've got charging. I've got a little 12-volt charger up there with a USB-C and a normal USB plug. Some bits and pieces. Moving along, I've got another pantry area. The key when traveling, you got to have that hot chocolate. Got a hot chocolate, collagen, herbs, spices, all the rest of it. And then these are all the same size drawers, clothing, pretty much in all of them. Moving on from there, I have my dimming switches. So I've got a red light, which is a red LED, which I use at night time for bugs and better for your eyes. And I've got another one, which is 2 just clear LED strips, which are on dimmers as well. And then right next to that is I've got my electrical compartment, which has my grey water, my fresh water levels. Below that is my Renogy 3000 watt inverter. This inverter, that's my on and off for that inverter. Also, this inverter has a shore plug, so if I'm at a caravan park or I'm at a house, I can plug shore power into that, which can charge my whole system. And then below that is my Renogy battery monitor, which tells me power coming in or power coming out. It tells me my percentage and how long, if I'm using if I'm using my fridges at the moment and I'm cooking something, if I was to use that power, how long would my batteries last for? So it gives me that. And then below that is my Max Air Fan remote controller. Moving on, below this seat here is where I store my toilet and my diesel heater. When I was building this van, I was tossing up whether to put a toilet inside or not. I'm thankful I did, because in Australia, especially when free camping, it's a lot easier if you have a toilet inside. You don't really want to be opening up the door to go to the toilet if you're trying to stealth camp in a car park or something. So that's definitely come in handy. So under here is toilet, like I said, and the diesel heater. I built a frame in there for the toilet to sit on, and there's enough room underneath to store the diesel heater. But I've only put it in a couple of weeks ago, and I haven't yet put the barb in the fuel tank. So that is on the job list to do, because last night it was 2 degrees and it was freezing. So hopefully this week I can order the part and we'll put that in. Now there's a little, let's come out, there's a little secret storage space that I've installed a couple of weeks ago, which is coming really handy underneath the bed. So under the bed, what I've done is, where the slats go on the bed, I cut some of the slats out and framed it up, and that goes to the shed space. And I put a crate in there which I can access by lifting up the mattress, and I can store blankets, dirty clothes, anything underneath there, which allows me to free up a bit more space within the van. On this side here is where I store my hot water system. So underneath the cushions, Ziggy Boy's snuck in. Underneath the cushions, I've got my Duetto, I think it's Duetto, Mark II hot water system. Also in here, I've got my water pump, water filter. So when I was building the van, this was a bit of an afterthought as the van was done. I ordered the filter, so it was a bit of a pain to put in there, but I'm very glad I went this direction. So what I've done is I've gone water pump, water filter, and then hot water system. So all the water through all the taps, the shower and the main tap here, are all filtered, hot water and cold water. So I was very happy to do that, because sometimes you just don't know the quality of the water when you're traveling around. And this is where I keep another storage in here. Some books, random things in there, which is handy. With the fans, I've got 2 Sirocco fans in here. So I've got this one just above me, which can pivot either side, so that can go from the bed to the seating opposite me, or to where I'm sitting right here. These are awesome fans. I've got my Max Air fan, which is epic. That pretty much stays on all the time. And then I've got one on the ground here for Ziggy Boy, which he's currently loving. That's his favourite thing. He loves this fan. Moving on from there, underneath the sink, I've got my IKEA mixer tap, which just got from IKEA, which has been epic. And a nice deep single sink. And underneath the sink is where the surfboard comes through, which you can see in there. That comes the whole way through. And then I've got made up a custom made bin, because I couldn't really find a bin that would fit inside this space, so a custom bin. And this is my other water filter. So this is my drinking water. So I'm very fussy when it comes to water. So this filters out all chemicals, herbicides, pesticides, fluoride, heavy metals, all the crap. So this is an alkaline water filter. When I first started traveling, I was just going to the shop and buying bottled water, but it was getting very expensive. So this was definitely been well worth it to have this in the van. And just some other bits and pieces, hand wash, washing liquid, sponges, all that sort of stuff underneath there. And then I want to show you guys some more storage. So underneath the 2 seats in the front of the van, so the van's a 3-seater, and underneath the 2 seats there's a big void. So what I've done was got marine ply and marine carpet, filled that in, which allows me to have storage for towels, camera gear and whatnot underneath there. We're literally in the middle of nowhere and some people just rocked up. See, come here. So that's that one. And then another thing which has been epic is when I installed this. So this is where I can hang my towels, clothing to dry out. And it also doubles as like a privacy screen and blocks light out at night time as well. So that's been pretty handy. Okay, moving on to the outside of the van. Let's go jump in the garage space and have a look at that. Now the fun part is utilizing all this space as much as I could. So I've got a freezer. This all helps with going off grid for longer as well, having this freezer. Put my meat and vegetables and blueberries and all the good stuff in there, some dog food as well. And this pulls out. So I've got my mountain bike, I've got some kettlebells in there, I've got a yoga mat, I've got an aircon, which I've only used once, so I'm thinking about getting rid of it, to be honest. But we'll see what happens. And then above that, I've got my skateboard up here, and then this little hidden shower as well, which has been really cool. It's my hot water shower, which I use that Duetti hot water for. So normally I just hold it, or I can put it up on here if I'm wanting to do that, but normally I just hold it, turn the water off, soap, all that sort of stuff. Back in there. This is the cool part. This is the one I love, is my surfboard compartment in here. So I've got a 9.3 longboard that fits the whole way through, which I showed you guys before, where it comes out underneath the kitchen bench there, underneath the sink. So that just slides all the way in. And I've got foam and rubber in there to support it. Slides all the way in, so it's not on the roof bouncing around. My amazing grandma as well, shout out to grandma, made all these pockets. So I've got some tools in here, I've got books in that one. This one I got nothing in, I've got some paper towel, barbecue stuff, just random bits and pieces. And then this is a new addition to the van. So prior to this I just had crates in here, but I found the crates were really annoying when I wanted to get things out that were underneath. So about a month and a half ago I built this new cabinet, which has been absolutely amazing. I'll show you what's in there. So in there I've got my wetsuits, life jacket, snatch strap just in case I get stuck somewhere. I've got a camelback, some mountain bike shoes, and some tools, some travel gear if I'm heading overseas, fishing rod, fishing gear, barcode tool set, some electrical stuff, fishing stuff, just random bits and pieces in here, which has been epic, nice and easy to use. Zig, come here, come on, come over here please. He is having the time of his life at the moment. Come here. Come say hello to everybody. Good boy. You say you're having the best time. He loves traveling. And then above that, as I've got my kettlebells for when I want to do a workout, they sit on top of this cabinet. I need to put this camera down for a second. Jump on the roof rack first. I want to show you the solar panels and how I've set the solar panels up. It's quite unique, and I want to show you where my Starlink is and where my surfboard goes as well, and how I get up on here. So thank you to this new storage box I made, just 1 foot on there, hand up, you just climb up like that. So here we are. I've got two 200 watt lithium panels, which when I done this, I made them fit in this aluminium roof rack, 50 by 50 aluminium, and I made them to fit just inside, but under flush. So they sit about 15 mil from flush. So if you want to use this rack for any building stuff or pipes or whatever, or you want to put a surfboard on top, it's not going to touch the actual solar panel, which has been pretty handy if I want to put like another longboard up here, or I want to grab some stuff for a house reno or whatever. That's been handy. And then over here I've got my Starlink max tracks just in case I get stuck, another surfboard, and this awning, which I've actually never used, but it's handy to have because I'm sure at some stage I'll use that if it's a stinking hot day. And that's it for up here. And my what's that fan called again? Max Air fan. Epic fan, highly recommend. I was thinking about getting a Dometic air conditioner, but I'm pretty happy that I went for just the Max Air fan. Cheaper, lighter, and for the conditions I travel in, it's been fine. Like, I'm not traveling in when it's 40-degree heat. Usually I'll try and go further south in Australia, so it's worked out well. In the van I've got two 200 amp lithium Renogy batteries, which are stored in a sealed box which is vented externally. In Australia they changed the ruling, which I'm glad I was finding this out as I was building my van, to swap the car registration over from a commercial vehicle to a recreational vehicle, and to get the insurance swapped over as well. So very important that if you're using lithium batteries, they have to be sealed in a box and vented externally to the van. Now I'm just going to brush over the electrical stuff. It's probably a video for another day because there's so much to go through, but pretty much I've went all Renogy bar my Lynx distributor. So I've got a 60 amp MPPT charge controller, which the two 200 watt solar panels coming from the roof are coming into. And then from there, I've got a DC to DC controller, which my main vehicle battery connects to, which also charges my lithium batteries off there when the car's running. And then I've got just a little hub here for my 12 volt componentry to go to, all my fuses and my breakers and everything like that. Underneath I've got a 3000 watt 3000 watt inverter, which also has a shore power input. So if I'm at a friend's place or I'm at a caravan park, I can plug power into there and I can charge my whole van up, which isn't something I normally do, and I've only used it once or twice, but it's still handy to have. And then at the back I've got my Starlink as well. I've got my Starlink and I've got power at the back, which has been pretty handy for my Starlink and for any tooling. If I'm doing a bit of work on the van, I can plug everything into the back power point. But yeah, that's all I'm going to go through on today's video for the electrical stuff. If you guys like this video and you like my van tour and you want to see more of my travel content and more where I'm going around Australia, hit the like and hit the subscribe, and I'll be sure to make some more videos. Now I'm going to enjoy this beautiful scenery.